In the last week of February 2020, Miriam Rosenzweig, the president and CEO of the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, called me into her office. Miriam knows that I used to be a commander in the Israeli Navy. After entering her office, she told me, Shimon, I need you to put your commander hat on. Within 2 hours, we had the Federation's leadership team assembled in our office to discuss how the Federation was going to lead our community's response to the pandemic.
We put together very early on, as facilities started to close, a wellness check program. There's all these vacant buildings. And as, we identified early on that we had the capacity to be able to check on the buildings, which means all the synagogues, cemeteries.
And we developed a group called the Community Response Team. The late chairs were Sarah Hermanoff and Joan Lubar. And their job was to really assess the situation and also handle the distribution of funds and create a process. We created a fund for Jewish Milwaukee, and this was for all Jewish organizations.
We received requests for things like for the Jewish Community Food Pantry to help create, a drive-by service. The schools needed laptops or Chromebooks for their students whose families didn't have them, and in order to create virtual learning opportunities.
By having an attorney on retainer, we were able to help 40 organizations secure the SBA loans. And this was significant because it brought in $10 million in federal funds, which then we could use our local donor dollars to help agencies and individuals in other ways.
We brought in the Adaptive Leadership Training Program from the Harvard Kennedy School to help Jewish communal organizations going forward to manage making difficult decisions, how they need to adapt to life as it will be in the future versus what it was pre-COVID. What I noticed is that it broke down barriers that have been built over years in this Jewish community.
Ari's like having an Avenger on our team. Ari was actually part of a national task force for reopening our organizations, Jewish community organizations. So his knowledge coming from that background made perfect sense for us to be able to use that expertise and how we're going to be reopening our own schools here in our own institutions as best as possible, as safe as possible.
For those that are reopening, we've provided PPE Startup Kits to about 35 different locations.
We understood that the accessibility to reliable resources and information is a gap, and providing access to all the resources that are available way beyond the federal government.
Make sure that synagogues knew everything we were offering, and also to make sure, we were taking care of their needs. They're not our constituent agencies, but we're all one community.
Miriam just came on board. She is the right person for this time. Brought our federation to a new level.
Leadership is accepting the responsibility for enabling others to achieve a shared vision and a shared purpose in the face of uncertainty. Our job here was to take on the responsibility, to say we're going to help. We're going to raise the money and we're going to create the resources to enable others. We ensured that JFS was giving out the dollars. The JCC is providing community programs. The schools are working with the kids. Milwaukee Jewish Free Loan is giving out the loans. Our job was to enable them to do that for the shared purpose and that last line, in the face of uncertainty.